here's another reason why you want to take control of what you're doing.
Everything kind of funnels into the only winning move is not to play the game.
I don't know, guys. This whole thing sounds pre-recorded.
Well, welcome to the new studio here, episode 58 of the Weather Report. And I've been a busy guy because what you see in the background is that it's never been this clear before. It's great to be here. We got Ken over here, Ken over there, Ken over there. There he is. Ken's over there. You know Ken because he's my dedicated co-host. And we got a very special guest today for episode 58. This is Garie Chavez from GC Creative Works. And how do you say that? Guhan Fractal Guitars?
It's Gihan
Fractal Guitars. And the way that we know Garie is that Ken was down at the Barrett Jackson auction back in about a month ago or so, maybe 2 months ago. And he was cruising around the little art section because that's what Ken is. He's a little artist. And he found Garie Chavez just hanging out there with all his wood art and everything. And we just want to welcome Garie to episode 58 of the Weather Report. How you doing, Garie?
Thank you so much for having me here tonight, and I'm really excited about doing this with you guys.
I'll have to interject one thing, is that on the intro, on the actual email that I sent out, says that you're based out of Minnesota. I'm sorry, you're not based out of Minnesota. No, it was, Minnesota is not as beautiful as Arizona. So
no, it's I think it was 85 today, but we're gonna climb up to the 90s here soon.
There we go.
So
there we go. Yeah, I'm in California. It was a nice 80 degrees here. I was out in my garden all day. It was fantastic. I loved it, man. So I love this time of year. Like I said, I'm a gardener, so I was happy with my hands in the soil and everything. We just had a great time. Great. So anyway, welcome to be here, man, and we appreciate you being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Garie Chavez?
Well, I started working on live edge wood about going on almost 9 years. It started with, my wife and I would like drink wine back in the day, and I started collecting all these wine bottles in the backyard. And I'm going, what can I do with this? We go get a tile saw and start cutting it. Well, I started cutting it, making candle holders, but then I need a base. You can't just put it on like a tile or a different kind of media. So I started finding all this desert hardwood, and I started making the candle holders with the desert hardwood base. I would route out the bottom, and then I would set it, and so it would look, like a centerpiece on your dining room table or coffee table. Then I did my first show in 2016 at a city called Fountain Hills, and that's how it kind of got started. And then fast forward to about 5 years ago, I bought a sawmill. I'm going, I need to get all this wood. Instead of buying it from somebody else, I want to do it all. I want it to have a story, which means I just don't buy the wood and then make the art and then sell it. I want to recover them myself, and I want to create a story from the beginning, from when it's a log into a centerpiece in your living room. Yeah, that's how it got started.
Oh, cool! And you're also a musician at the same time, so this all kind of ties into the whole story. Is that correct?
It's like planting you're a gardener. It's like planting a seed, and next thing you know, this seed turns into a plant. And the plant turns into a shrub, and the shrub turns into a small tree, and the tree now is about 10 feet. And that's kind of what's happening in my adventure here. I don't know where it's going to lead to next. And so the guitars, I've been playing since I was 12, and back in the 70s, everyone wants to be a rock star.
Right.
So I had my first band. My dad, I said, Dad, I want a guitar. I said, what do you want? Can you loan me $750? Well, in the 70s, that's like probably 20 grand today, right?
That's $1 million.
Right.
So he goes, I don't have the money. You're gonna have to work. So I did paper route, but I can only save up like $200. So I went to this music store. The reason I wanted that $750 because it was a Gibson Les Paul custom cherry
Ooh.
Silvers
Oh
by
yeah.
Jimmy Page, but I couldn't afford it. So the guy said, "Here's a made in Japan Les Paul copy. You can have." So that's why I got started playing. But then I needed. How do you make the sound like rock? Right? You need a distortion.
Mm-hmm.
That's another what, $50 or so. So what I did is I went and looked at some of these books that has a DIY how to make a distortion box. So I got the schematic. I went to electronics store in Southern Cal and got all the parts, the resistors, the transistors, the PC board, the copper and the etch. I mean, I did everything from scratch. It wasn't like it was all put together and you just have to solder it.
Right, right.
So I
So
got
this,
it done, but then I need a box. I'm not a metal guy. So my dad has a lot of wood, so I cut the plywood, in pieces, and I got it to work. That's kind of, and then I knew right there I want to build a guitar. But at 15 years old, you can't have, your mind's not developed yet to, how do you make that guitar? To me, it's like, how do I go to Mars? That's kind of the concept for me.
Mhm.
I couldn't reach that yet until I was 60 years old. So that's how I got started.
So you were an artist that didn't know it, but when did you feel that pull that you were an artist? You were actually going like, okay, I want to create.
That was probably about that when I started cutting those wine bottles,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Oh,
wanted
okay.
to create something. I always wanted to create something unique for everyone. I just don't want to be like, just being herded.
Mm-hmm.
I want something different.
Well,
And
and that's what stood out when I met you at the show down in Scottsdale. Was I'm walking around and it's all car stuff, and all of a sudden here's this guy with these crazy guitars and this amazing woodworking, all with lightning in it, and we'll get into that in a minute. But it was so unique. I mean, there was a lot of other artists and stuff there, and everyone had really great stuff.
mhm.
But yours were really it. I mean, I was watching people just stop in their tracks and walk in and talk to you, and it was really interesting to see at something. For those that don't know Barrett Jackson, I mean, it's thousands, tens of thousands of people there. Multi-million-dollar cars everywhere, and people run. It's just to get even noticed at all there is a pretty big deal. And yeah, you stayed pretty busy that whole time.
I lost my voice about the ninth day.
Yeah, it's a long one. It's a long one.
It
But
is. It is a long one.
so tell us a little bit more. This is pretty interesting. So kind of what we like to do in this show is talk about entrepreneurs, people that are actually doing it. They're making their living. They're they might have left a regular job to chase some creative exploits, and it's working. I'm excited. I'm coming down there in a few weeks, and I have every intention to come out and see you at your shop. I'm just and shake your hand and say hello again, and I'm looking forward to that.
When it's,
But
just make sure you dress lightly
yeah, no, I will.
because we had 100 degrees. So
Yeah, well, good. I hope so, because it was a solid 31 this morning when I was out in my garage working. I had to turn the garage heat on. But
Yeah.
anyway, your story that you told me was pretty compelling. Like you said, you wanted to have a story about the wood. So you created your sawmill, you put that all together, but you're getting reclaimed wood from is it the Forestry Service or
just from everywhere. I'll tell you a story today. Yesterday, I got a call from a lady, and she's a band photographer. She lives in Tucson, but she has a rental over in Phoenix here, and she's like finding people, and she couldn't find people. She Googled me, and she goes, and she called me up and said, I have I have this rental property and the city is after me for to cut it down because it's so big. It's I don't know what's happening. And I said, what kind of wood is it? It's pistachio, and that's rare. That grows in the desert. And pistachio, if you look at the wood, it's beautiful grain.
Hmm.
So I said, I can't. I'm not allowed. I'm not qualified to cut trees. First of all, I don't want to get sued in the tree
Yeah.
coming from somebody's house. I'll cut it when it's down and I'll recover it. So I called up a friend who owns a tree services. So I got them connected. So that's how it happens. Tree services, uh, just homeowners would want to donate the wood. And you'll see it when you come to my shop. I'm just, it's like a forestry in the backyard. So, but
That sounds awesome.
it's all desert hardwood. It's so hard, and it's beautiful when you cut it. So that's how it kind of got started. It just the word gets out. Gary does this, and I have to say, I'm not the only one doing this in the valley. There's a selected few people that does what I'm doing, like us, like sawmill and cutting wood and slabs and selling furniture, but but the guitar is what makes me separate from the rest.
Right, right. And the guitars are really something else. We've got some pictures here we're bringing up of the guitars. There's as I saw them, you get that picture, Bruce? There you go. So this is some of the guitars. So not only is he reclaiming wood from the desert floor, it's his idea for is a very dangerous. I put it that I'm trying to figure out the best way to put it. A very dangerous way of creating the artwork on these. And if you could tell us a little bit about that, what it's called, is it fractal? It's electrical.
Yes, it's actually the right terminology. Really, is Lichtenberg burning, but somehow somebody came up with fractal burning because it looks like it's fractal.
Yeah, it looks like it's fracturing.
So it's I use a high voltage transformer step up, and I what I do is I create this. I apply some kind of a conductive solution on the surface of the wood, and then I put two probes, copper probes, on each end wherever I want it to go, and then I would turn it on, and it would just Mother Nature that just takes its course. And electricity will always find the least path of resistance, and that's how it creates this vein like lightning strikes. Actually, it's a lightning strike in slow motion, but it's fatal if you don't know what you're doing. It's I don't recommend it to anyone. It's not something you can. Oh, I'll try it. Well, it's dangerous. People have died doing this stuff. And
You need
people
to be
have-
well grounded.
Yeah. Well, I have like an inch thick rubber mat. I have some safety, and Ken will see it when you come here. You'll see how the safety precautions that I have, and it's people ask me, why do you do it? Well, it's no different than people riding a hot air balloon or base jumping. But
I ride a motorcycle.
so see, I won't even ride one. Yeah, riding one. I mean, but it creates such a unique feature that every art I make is so unique. I can't
Right.
duplicate it. And then the guitar kicks in, like, oh, I can build a guitar with this, and that thing just starts taking off. So it is the process. Then is after it burns the wood, I take a wire brush, I clean it, I take the char remains, I sand again, then I apply epoxy, and then I let it dry for about a day. It cures for about 24 hours, and then I start sanding again. So it's a process, but there's a technique on why those epoxy is so shiny. So and people love it. I mean, they
And
love
like
it.
like you said, there's no piece of wood that's the same. So even as you're cutting these stumps through and you apply the process to each piece of wood, every design is different.
Yes, yes, exactly. Every slab is different. It is it, it's wicked. That's all I can tell you. And if you have, uh, I mean, sometimes I can't make up my mind. Like, okay, what color would I want to do it with? And that's sometimes a challenge.
Right. For the people at home that are listening to this on like on the audio podcast, which will drop tomorrow, we just have to describe what we're seeing here. But it is amazing what you're seeing. What you're seeing is you're seeing a piece of wood that has a design in it that looks like lightning. It looks like, basically lightning. And what you've done with that lightning in there is you've added color, and you've added hues and tones and things like that. It's totally amazing. And you can do this in any shape that you have actually CNC'd or shaped this piece of wood in. Like this cross here is absolutely beautiful. This cross is just fantastic. And you make all kinds of things. It's live edge wood, stuff like that.
Yes,
Wine bottles, like you said when you began with. And
that's that's so hard to do.
it is. What's that?
Oh my God, that heart.
Oh, that one there.
That's incredible.
From Etsy, I get scared. Like, oh my God, here we go. Because you can't. You only get one shot because it has to be perfectly aligned when you're cutting that bottle. If
They
you
make it look so easy on TV when they did that commercial where everybody was doing the bottle art at one time.
Yeah. No, that one I'm like, oh. Sometimes I go, I wish no one would order that.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's cool looking.
It's a very beautiful piece, and I'll describe it to the people that are on the audio podcast. This is two wine bottles, two tops of the wine bottles that were melded together in the form of a heart, and it is absolutely beautiful. And I can't tell you, I've been looking through all of your art pieces, like this little centerpiece you were talking about before with the wine bottles that are sitting there with looks like the tea lights inside of it. It's absolutely beautiful. And these the guitar hangers, that's the first thing that caught my eye, was the guitar hangers. I'm a musician myself, so I might have to get something like that.
Of course. Who's your favorite? You must have a favorite guitar hero, a guitar
Eric
player.
Clapton. Eric
Oh.
Clapton would be one of them.
I got
Peter Frampton would be the next one.
Yeah.
I'm an old Peter Frampton.
Peter Frampton. I have a Peter Frampton guitar hanger too.
Oh yeah. Oh, do you?
Oh my
I
God.
I just happen to have one.
That's awesome.
But I play Stratocaster, so I'm a Fender guy.
I'm a Strat guy too.
And then I'm also a Gibson guy, so I have a Gibson.
Okay.
And my Gibsons are acoustic. So.
Okay, got it. Hummingbird.
No, the J200s.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, the J200s. But yeah, absolutely, I love them. So yeah, we'll have to take a look more about your stuff. I'm really impressed with this one here, where you've done all this certain. I mean, these are the types. I'm showing nine samples of the guitar bodies that that Garie has done right now, and each one of them is unique. And I mean, what I mean by unique is that you to sit here and look at them and describe them does not do them justice, because everyone is beautiful in its way, and I'm sure that you can put a story behind each and every one of them if you had to.
Yeah, exactly. So, like the one on the upper left, that is the first guitar I actually built, and that's named after my mom. So it's got her initials MMC, and then the one below it is a left-handed guitar from a client in Texas from the Barrett Jackson show 2 years ago. He wanted a left-handed guitar, and he doesn't even play. He wants to hang it as art in his home.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay. So, and then the other one, the one in the center, that's equivalent to an Eddie Van Halen Frankenstein. I call that Fractalstein. I don't want to get sued. So that has the Eddie Van Halen humbucker, that Fender, the EVH humbucker that Eddie Van Halen uses. So that's the most popular one right now. Actually, I'm building one for a client from this last show at Barrett Jackson, and it's going to California. But I've got a surprise for Ken. there's a double neck. I think I mentioned it to you that I am building a double neck guitar for a
Yes.
Oh, nice. Oh, cool.
That's a big
really cool.
challenge. I got the template finally done. I was gonna had another company make me a template, but they want $650 for just a template.
Yeah.
Jeez. You know what I did, Ken? I said, you know what? I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna take a precision bass. I'm gonna take a Strat guitar, and I'm going to measure it and just eye it and see. And I got it done. So
Oh boy.
that's the hardest part. How do you set those Strat and marry them together to make it look like a double neck? And I did it. So now I know it. I own that shape. So
Now, are you? It's a double neck. Are you doing it? Is it like a 6-string, a 12-string?
a bass and a bass and a 6-string.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
what the client wants. Yeah, he wants and he wants red, white, and pearl white, like a USA flag.
So one of the things I want to bring up too, if we can, Bruce, you want to pull up that all the guitars again, the image is they're all gorgeous, but there's to start with, you're dealing with woods that have such unique grains in them, and you've been very good at being able to figure out, how to make the right grain look right on the right guitar, and some of the grains run in diagonal, like your top left one up there is kind of a spiral grain to it. Some run straight through, and you have different woods. So I know like mesquite is one you use, and pistachio. You said what are the other woods that
So
you make?
on the picture here on the upper left first would be that's called willow acacia wood. That's the dark grain. It's the same DNA you'll find in Hawaii called koa. One's
okay.
in Hawaii, one is grown here in Arizona.
It looks similar.
Exactly DNA.
I've got a ukulele made out of koa. So.
Oh, I love koa, but they're protected. Here, they get cut every day and get thrown in the landfill.
Yeah.
So then the one on the upper right is Arizona ash or desert ash. See, it's lighter grain.
Very light,
Yeah.
very light, very light.
Subtle. They're not really jumping at you, but the more you stare at it, the more you see the grain. And then in the bottom center, right in the center, the bass guitar, that's rosewood. That's desert rosewood, Arizona grown rosewood.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So
That is
all of this wood that's grown in Arizona are not indigenous to the state. There's only two types of. There's the saguaro, the cactus,
The
and
Soroka.
Palo Verde, the green tree. The rest were brought in here about 100, maybe 100, 150 years ago in Arizona for as firewood. So eucalyptus comes from, we also have a lot of eucalyptus. I don't use eucalyptus because they're very dense and heavy.
Yes.
And very, very dense. So they're not good for making guitars.
It's not good for fires either.
They're brought from Australia. We have African sumac. I'm building one. It's beautiful. So all of this wood, the mesquite came from Chile, South America. The willow comes from the Pacific. Ash, probably from another state. So yeah, they're just not indigenous to this state, but it makes it so. And the reason Arizona or Phoenix has about 1 million trees, and we keep planting every day. So you think Phoenix would be a desert? We have over 1 million trees, and we cut them every day, and they go to landfill.
Wow.
Because of our elevations, 1,000 feet, everything grows at 1,000 feet. Now you go to New Mexico, Albuquerque, it's 5,000 elevation. Nothing grows there except, of course, softwood like pine. Like up north in Flagstaff, if you drive 2 or 3 hours, it's pine country. Those are softwood, and I don't do softwood.
Do they act differently? I'm sorry, you can.
They're just to me. There's no value, and when you fractal, the thing goes through. It's so soft.
Oh, just burn right through it. Yeah,
through it, and it's just not to me. There's no value. People desire desert hardwood. It's because it's so hard. You can run your truck on it, and you can't crack it.
Garie, there's some you've been working on too on lately, mostly this week that I've seen. I'm going to add this to stage here. This is on your Facebook page here.
Yeah. So this is called Ocean Beach Resin Art. So the story about this surfboard, I've had this hanging about 2 3 years, and no one's digging the fractal on the surfboard. So one day, you know what? Well, what started actually this piece right here was actually is a I donate to a nonprofit org called Billy's Place. It's about grief. When a family member dies, they help that family go through a series of how to overcome
Mm.
grief. So their theme was riding the waves of grief, and they want something beach, some kind of a beach theme. And it was just happened to be doing it that week, so I donated that piece, and it went for $460 yesterday on a silent
Nice.
auction.
Nice.
So yeah, so yeah, that is my new gig. It's that Ocean Beach, and then the guitar that you saw, that's being donated to St. Jude's fundraising silent auction in May at Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, by an actor named Kevin Ram. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So and then yeah,
That
so
surfboard is absolutely beautiful.
yeah,
I can't understand how that surfboard would not be cool out at the beach. I'm sorry.
I know. So someone's asking me, like a friend that lives in California, why don't you contact all the surf shops here? I said, wait, hold on. It's just me. I said, you have to play that balancing act. Because
Yes.
if you get too, I've got to make sure that I can fulfill somebody's order.
Yeah.
I don't want someone waiting a year, because now it's detrimental to your business if you have customers waiting, over 6 months or a year. Now the guitars are totally different. They know ahead of time that it
Right.
takes about 150 to 200 hours to build one.
Yeah, I got a luthier myself, friend that I have here in Larkspur, and it takes him a long time to. I mean, you put in an order, you're waiting 6 7 months at least, at
Yeah,
the very least. Yeah.
you can't rush it. You just
No.
have to be in the right frame of mind when you make it. It's
Mm.
like I can make a charcuterie board, a guitar hanger, in my head already done. The guitar, I have to go back to my notes every time and just because there's so much detail that you can't remember everything. So
Well, I want to bring up this too. You're talking about guitar, and you're talking about your some of your charity work, which you do quite a bit of. Recently, you did this guitar, and that's a picture on your Facebook page with you and Ron White, and I've seen you with pictures with all these other rock stars that signed this guitar. So tell us a little bit about this, because this was a pretty cool thing that you did, and Alice Cooper is kind of the curator of all this things. So tell us a little bit about this picture here.
So that picture there, it's a live edge guitar stand made of mesquite, and this is my third year donating to Alice Cooper's Scoop Stock. It's to support the teen centers that he has here in the valley. And so every year they ask me to make one. So this year I decided I'm going to make that guitar stand and also that guitar and donate both of them. But they wanted in two separate bidding. In other words, you can also bid on the guitar stand, you bid on that guitar.
Right.
So then Alice Cooper and whoever is performing that year signs every art that I make, from Alice Cooper to Rob Halford of Judas Priest, Robin Zander of Cheap Trick, Rick Nielsen's son Dax, and then Robin Sanders' son. Let's see who else. Ron White, Alice Cooper. I know I'm missing one. Oh, Corey Glover of Living Color.
Living Color. Yep.
So when they signed it, people started fighting over it. So two guys were actually fighting over that guitar to the last minute. So the guitar went for $4,600, which
Beautiful.
my base price is $35. that's how it's. So I was glad to. And then the guitar stand went for $2,300.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And that's all. And that all goes to help Alice
All those
Cooper's.
Cooper's Teen
Yep.
Center, yes.
So that's really generous. You know, a lot of people don't do that. And
You
so,
always have to give back to the community. You
Yeah.
can't just take it all in and in. You got to give back, and that's my kind of my mo. And that's how way I run my business. I
right.
give more what I sell, and just to help out the community.
Yeah. How long have you been showing now? So how long have you been actually out at events and showing your artwork?
So the Barry Jackson, I've been doing it for 3 years. They found me on online. They invited me instead of applying, so that was really a blessing.
Oh, wow.
And then I only do that show. I only do one other show in Scottsdale as well, called Junk in the Trunk.
Yeah.
It's at the same place, Ken. It's at Westworld. So that's
Yep.
happening in about 2 weeks. And pretty much that's it, Bruce. I don't have the time anymore. I mean, I like to be in my shop, because it takes a lot of your energy to pack up and set up and then my website's helping me. I'm also on Amazon. I have an Amazon seller account. I have an Etsy. So, and just people just calling to place an order. Well,
Let's get it. Let's get into that. Let's get into that aspect about actually marketing your wares on Etsy and on
Yeah.
any place. There's a certain kind of commitment that you have to make on there, and then also to be able to get noticed and your visibility to the public. I mean, how does that work out for you? How did you get that going?
Well, again, it's through doing the local shows, and you never know who's going to walk into your booth, like Ken. So, and then about 2 years ago, the largest airline retail agency called Parity, like the one that's you see all the shops at the airports.
Mm-hmm.
They actually came up to me and said, "We'd like you to." We're opening up a new terminal, a concourse at Sky Harbor Airport here in Phoenix. We want you to be part of that gift shop for local artists. So now I'm supplying them with charcuterie boards, stage shape, wine coasters, and wine stoppers. That's what they want. So I actually I've got Bruce. I've got actually an order that's due in about a week and a half. So they place a PO and then 3 years ago, Hyatt Regency of San Antonio said we want menu holders. Ken, it's on my website. It's under corporate gifts. If you go to the main page.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll open it up. Bruce, you guys
Okay.
talk amongst yourself. I'll get you the
Yeah, no
website
problem.
there.
So then they found me. They wanted, I believe, 70 of those for their Q bar. It's their restaurant inside the Hyatt Regency. They also asked me to make wine candle holders, like we were talking earlier to the beginning of the show.
Right.
And then after that, last year, JW Marriott here at in Scottsdale said we want 55 charcuterie boards for our high-end clients. So
Tomorrow.
It's crazy, how they find me. And then what's the other one? I can't remember what the other one there, Ken. We just saw the website. There's another one. Oh, Honor Health. It's another foundation. It's like a hospital foundation.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen. It like I said, it just never knew. But my passion is actually guitar hangers and building guitars. So
I saw your guitar hangers. I'm telling you.
you see all the rock stars.
I'm feeling it. Yes, I'm feeling it.
So, Bruce, let me tell you about that story. So growing up in the 70s, my dad hated my bedroom because growing up in the 70s, all three of us, what do we have in common in our house? Wallpaper, right? We had wallpaper.
Yes.
So mom, and I didn't like my wallpaper in my bedroom. So I started buying these big posters of Led Zeppelin, The Who, Robin Trower, Aerosmith. Then I would buy Cream magazine or Hit Parade, and I'd take a blade and I would cut the pictures and
Right.
tape. So I had all these posters in my bedroom. My dad hated it. He thought I was possessed, you know. But I'm 62 now, and it comes back in full circle. Now the rock stars have my art, and I'm really grateful for that.
Yep. What do we got
Samuel
there?
Baker was the first one to send me a picture of him holding it
Nice. There
in
we
his
go. Sam
kitchen.
Hagar. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sam Hagar. There we go.
in his kitchen wearing flip flops. So the following year, Michael Anthony sent me a picture with no flip flops.
Yeah.
Right. So, and these are my guitar heroes. You know, growing up, you go to big concerts, you only see them like about 3 inches tall.
Yep.
Right.
So you're so far from the stage, and I'm
Another-
just grateful for it's my way of telling them thank you for making great music for our generation.
Yes. Yes. I mean,
And
we're looking at the artwork that you have here, and it is just incredible. I mean, I am beyond words when I'm looking at, and it's not all fractal design. That's what
oh
that's
no,
what, and
no,
that's what the cool thing is that it's all different types of woodwork.
Mhm.
Most of it is all natural edge, which is very, very cool. And then
Yes,
you've got some other pieces that you've actually, you fashioned into shapes and stuff. It is incredible stuff. I got to tell you. So, is this your 9 to 5? Is this what you do? This is your
yeah,
living?
yes. I used to work for the postal service, and then I decided, oh, yeah, I can't. I got to do this now. So yeah, it's a 9 to 5, and my shop is actually 50 feet away. So when Ken texted me 5 minutes before 7, goes, Gary, are you going to be at the show? Came running out of the shop, went to my office here, and I'm like, I got to go. So, but yeah, it's a pretty cool gig. I'm really grateful, and I'm glad to meet Ken. I was that interview was awesome, Ken.
Well, that was nice of you to do that because I just kind of walked and showed up and said, hey, I'm some schmo walking around the show with an iPhone and a microphone. You want to talk about your stuff? And you were so kind. And I'll say, out of all of the artist interviews that I did that day, yours is by far the most popular.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the one that's got the most views across the board. And I attest that to you actually sharing it and mentioning it too. So it was I was honored to see how you shared it as well. I just thought that was really nice of you. So I appreciate that. So it's mutual.
I'm very grateful for you doing that for me. I'm really thankful.
And we also talked about a little bit thing. We can get into this a little bit if you're okay with it. One of the things that I noticed is you have there's a humbleness to you that you're attributing everything that you're able to do to God in His grace, and that was nice to hear. There's after talking to you at the show, and then you and me have had a conversation or two since. I'm like, the world needs more Christians like yourself. You're happy. You're just living it. You're trying to live your best life and giving. You're very humble and you're very quick to give more, like you said, give more than you take, but also just attribute your talents and things to God. I feel the same way about a lot of what I do. It's just how do you, but you're really living it, and it was very inspiring to me to hear that. So we're believers here, and we're all have our own different levels of what we do, but I just found I'm struggling for the word here. Your acceptance and the way that you
His testimony.
is the way your testimony is just so beautiful. It's churches should be studying how you talk to people about God, because you really do it in an inspiring way that really there's a grace that comes through you. And I felt it. So I hope you don't mind I bring that up, but
No,
that's just one of the things I think was cool.
everything I do is for the Lord. I mean, I'm just His worker. Everything that comes out of this 10 fingers, it really He guides me what I need to do, and I don't take any to me, if you do something and you don't put God in the equation of your success, that's a deadly way of thinking. That's pride. And he doesn't like that. So you have to give him all the glory every day. You know, like every morning I wake up, Lord, I'm grateful for giving me another life. Uh, Tell me what I need to do today. And he does. I really believe that, losing my job 5 years ago and then showing me a bigger door. I mean, there's no words
Yeah.
to
It's
say.
not always an easy step.
No, God, when you first milled that first log, so when you take a log and you mill that first they call skip cut, the first piece of slab that you cut, and when you flip it, and when you take the hose and hose it down, the beauty of that, only God see, only God's is only God's. He's the only one that saw that, besides me when I first opened it or flipped it. That's how. That's the beauty of an ugly log, and all of a sudden when you cut it, it's got this beautiful grain. I mean, it's got eyes. It. I can't explain, Bruce.
It just speaks. It just speaks to you. I mean, I can attest to exactly what you're talking about, because when I first found God myself, it was just like it was. I went to church because my sisters wanted me to go, and it just happened to be on Christmas. It just happened to be a Christmas Eve thing,
Right.
and just something just spoke to me then. And basically the word was hope. And at that time, I was kind of down on everything, So when I heard that, there's something that sparked inside of me, and for some reason, it kind of led me to where I am here today. I mean, I went through, the church in a box thing. I went through speaking to kids and being a minister and things like that. But basically, what it comes down to is following your path, following those talents that God gave you.
Yep.
And this is the talent that I have.
Yep.
And that my music and everything just generates through everything that he's throwing through here and coming out this mic right here. So I mean, it's kind of hard to explain to a lot of people, but that's basically the situation that hit me.
God is hope. I mean, you have to have hope.
Yeah.
And if not, we're here to serve others.
Yeah.
And I think that's, if everyone can get that through their head, the place will be a better place to live. But it's because we're born selfish, we cry,
Absolutely.
but it takes, God's timing is perfect also. Because sometimes I go, how come I didn't do this like 15 years ago or 20 years? I could have had the whole market to myself.
Yes.
You weren't ready.
Why did I start building guitars, when I was in my 40s? But it's not our time.
Yeah. Why am I not Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Not yet. But that's the question that we will never know. But his timing is perfect, and we just have to trust, regardless of what happens in life. We have to trust.
And I love the way you put, because you said this to me too when we were talking down in Arizona about just what you said. So the trees on the inside of a tree, no matter how you cut it, no matter what shape you cut it in, no matter which direction you go, you have a thing of beauty. And God had seen that. And like you said, until you are the person cutting it, but you have to be able to see that vision too. You have to be able to go, wow, this is the first time a human being has seen this exact thing that I'm looking at right now. Every single time you cut into one, it's the first time someone saw that.
Yes.
But God created it, and it was one of those mind-blowing moments. I'm like, I can't look at trees the same way now. I want to see what's inside all of them.
Exactly. But then again, there's always the enemy, right? You know who's the enemy when I'm cutting it?
Yeah.
A nail. Blade. When I hit that nail with a saw blade, there goes my $50 blade.
Yep.
Oh, like, okay, here, somebody's always trying to take the joy away, right?
And Lowe's is closed.
Getting upset. Hey, praise the Lord. You can't let the enemy attack you and say, "Oh my gosh." Oh, anyway, that's just kind of the other uh, view of seeing it. Not everything is, like I said, everything's perfect.
Right,
We're not
right.
perfect. So, but
If you were to tell anybody that is interested in actually trying to do what you do, or even bringing out their artistic talent or any talent at all, and trying to make a living, 9 to 5, 18 hours a day, 24 hours a day, probably sometimes, what would be like your best advice for those people?
patience, patience. Nothing happens overnight. This didn't happen like in a year or in a week. It's patience, and you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. You can't just buy a sawmill and get a log and start cutting and then selling it on Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much you can sell or people because there's other people selling it. So you have to have a plan. And I'm just grateful that I was given that blessing that I can recover a log and finish it all the way to the finish line. You
Mm-hmm.
can't just, oh, I'm just gonna collect logs and sell it, the slabs. No one's gonna buy it unless you know how to finish it. Or because what happens is like, okay, a client buys a slab, that means he has to take it to another place to get it done. So the cost goes up now. So that is the key is to patience, and you have to have a plan. What are you going to do with it? Okay, now you got this. What are you going to do with it now? And you always have to reinvent yourself. And if you notice, Ken, on my website, I'm always like you said, you saw the ocean beach. Now I'm doing,
Right.
I do guitars next. So that's the
Mhm.
next plan. How can I incorporate this ocean beach look into a guitar body?
Oh, that's absolutely
Would that be
beautiful.
cool? Would that be cool? So
That is absolutely beautiful.
I know. So, but it just, but it doesn't come from me. It comes from the Holy Spirit. Saying, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do? What can I do? What do I do next?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the piece that I get.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not have to battle in my head, you know. And
Yeah.
it's not about, yes, the money helps. That's a resource.
Mm-hmm.
We also have to focus on the source. We never
Yeah.
have to worry about it because when you focus on the source, the resource comes. And it's not all about the money. It's not all about making a lot of money because when you get sick, no amount of money will cure you.
Right.
So, and finally, I'm on a healthy um, journey now. When I see my doctor, he goes, your cholesterol's high, you're pre-diabetic, and triglycerides. So I'm walking a mile and a half in the backyard. I got a little track. I'm eating salad every day. So because the Lord says, hey, I gave you this blessing. If you don't take care of your body, it's gonna go away.
Got to take
Correct?
care of the vessel. Got to take care of the vessel.
Exactly. And we're only here for a short period of time. So that's now my next journey. And I'm grateful he was giving me a second chance. You know,
That's beautiful.
it
That's
is.
beautiful. Yeah.
So
You talk about battles and challenges and everything like that. So yeah, obviously you are great at what you do. You have some beautiful art out there. But let's talk about your most challenging, most just frustrating piece of art that you ever had to do that maybe is still sitting in the corner somewhere in your shop going like, either I'm going to finish that or I'm going to burn it. But I mean, tell
that's
us,
sure. Well, let's see. Uh, well, I have to admit I'm ADD, so that's why when you look at the website, it's actually it's my testimony. See how many different things I do. I go
yes.
from one I think Bruce, the guitar is very challenging, but
Mhm.
it's so painful. It feels good. How is that the way to say?
I think so. I think so. It's kind of like me when my wife was telling me, when I was pulling weeds this morning, and she was pulling weeds with me. She goes, "I hate pulling weeds." I'm like, "This is so relaxing to me." I mean, just to have my hands in the soil and know what's going to happen once all that's gone. To me, I'm just at peace.
Yeah,
So I know what you mean by when you're doing those things that push you and that you have purpose for, and that's just the thing. With my hands in dirt, my feet in dirt, anything that touches the earth or anything to me like that, it just
well,
it
yeah, you're
it
grounded.
goes through me. It goes through me. So yeah,
Helps.
I understand. So you and wood, I would imagine touching the wood and
Oh
seeing
yeah.
the wood and the texture and everything. That's kind of what drives you. So yeah, that's
Well,
very interesting.
all these logs are just laying down there. I'm sure they're talking probably. Go, thank you for saving us from going to landfill, right? I mean, they're still alive to me just because they were cut. I think they're still a living material.
Definitely,
That
definitely.
belongs to the Lord. Everything here I have belongs to the Lord. And
Yeah.
that's how I look at life.
Well, that's
It's not
fantastic.
mine.
Man.
It's not mine. You know.
Yes, you have a fantastic story for sure. Ken, I said,
Like I said, it's just um let's see what else are challenging. Oh, I don't do well, the one that's not gonna happen is I had a couple that came here and they oh no, a couple, but they're and the first thing he said, well, my dad's been in the closet for 20 years. So I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that? Oh, he meant the ashes. So he wanted me to fractal and drop the. I said I can't do that. I just I'll do pets, but I can't do human
Yeah.
ashes. It's
mm,
just there's a I can't cross that line. It's sacred, you know. But
mm,
we can do I can rot out a hole and we can drop it and then we can seal with epoxy.
There
got
you
you.
go.
Because when you do the fractal, you have to scrape it to clean out the top, and I can't do that. So those are big challenges.
Yeah.
So one of the things I noticed was what I thought was really cool is you have all these magically floating items on wood that are held together with a magnet from the backside, I'd imagine. But I found these to be really interesting, and I am going to commission you to do one like this here because I saw these and I thought that was fantastic.
Yes.
I love mechanisms, and so of course I'm a gun guy. Um,
And from
and I
Minnesota,
just like what an incredible juxtaposition between like completely machined, perfectly executed things, and then absolute electric chaos.
yes. And I have a Minnesota template state.
We, we're gonna do a Wisconsin one too.
Oh, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I was from Minnesota, so I'm both. So yeah,
I do have a Wisconsin one. I do have one.
Have you done California yet?
Yes, I did. I did.
Oh, all right.
I did.
the guns don't stick to the California one.
Well, okay, Bruce, what part of California?
I'm in Gilroy, actually.
Which is
It's Central Coast, kind of
is that
Central
the
Coast.
garlic?
I would be like the closest to Monterey.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, Monterey, kind of Monterey area. Yeah,
So,
so yeah, we're just getting the garlic festival back,
yes,
and yeah, so we are still not the garlic capital of the world anymore, but they decided that they were going to open that up again. So, but I've got a story about that myself, but that's for another show.
so you sent me that. What was that picture again? That the guitar hanger.
This one here.
That is a Joe Walsh guitar hanger.
Oh my gosh, Joe Walsh.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I got a story to tell you, Bruce.
Oh, please.
Oh, tell us.
Joe Walsh is the character.
Oh my God, no. So this is a friend of mine loves Joe Walsh. So this is a Joe Walsh style guitar hanger, and he also is a geologist. He collects dinosaur bones and um petrified wood. So that guitar pick right there, he wanted me to epoxy that. That's a dinosaur pick.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Right up there on the top.
Yes. So in the story, there's a parallel to this. So I got hold of from a friend. I got connected me with Joe Walsh's daughter, Lucy Walsh. I told her my story, and she goes, "No, no problem. Go ahead and mail my dad a guitar hanger," and it arrived yesterday.
Oh, cool.
I made Joe Walsh his own guitar hanger, and we'll see if I get a picture with him.
Oh, that's
That's
fantastic.
epic. That's to me, that's top of the line right there. Because I
That
told
is
him,
fantastic.
yeah. So because when I used to have a band in the '70s, one of the two songs are "Life in the Fast Lane" and "Victim of Love."
Yes.
Ah, of course.
So
Life's been good to you so far,
yeah, I
as
can't.
Joe Walsh said.
I couldn't play that one back then. So, but yeah, that's
There's
the
so-
latest one.
Yeah, there's so much of Joe Walsh's music that I love. I love before he got into the Eagles. I was just a
Oh,
huge
James,
Joe Walsh fan before that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
James Deering, and it's Rocky Mountain High. I
yeah.
mean,
Rocky Mountain Way, Rocky Mountain Way. All Night in the Laundromat Blues is one of my favorite songs.
he's got some stories. Oh, it's amazing.
But I tell you, man, yeah, just even his talent. I mean, comes just bleeds right through what we've been talking about. It's just a passion. It's one of his it's his powers. So I mean, all that stuff. It's amazing these rock stars that you have kind of rubbed shoulders with and been able to
I know it's a dream come true. I mean, I'm like a kid again, like
yeah.
15 years old again. Like when Michael Anthony and his wife walked into the booth 2 years ago, Ken, Bruce, I was like stunned, like, wow, like can't believe this.
That's cool. That's so
He was
cool.
so cool. He was so cool, and I said to him and his wife, said, "Do you mind if I make a guitar hanger for Joe?" And oh yeah, no problem. Here's our address. Send it.
Here's our address.
Yeah.
Here's my final one. I said I want to send one to Jason Bonham. Oh yeah, a memorial centerpiece for his dad. No problem.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
crazy.
You've been definitely blessed. You've been definitely blessed.
The story about the other one with Joan Jett. That's a really so. So this couple bid on the guitar stand at Alice Cooper's Coopstock 2 years ago, and they won it, but they want me to sign it. I said I don't have a. I feel funny about signing my art. I just feel weird about it. But he said we want you to sign. Well, I don't have a marker. Come by the house. So the following week they came by the house. He and his wife, and so they saw the pictures of all my rock stars in my shop, and she goes, "I can add another rock star into that." I said, "What?" He goes, "Joan Jett's my best friend." Oh my God, I lost it. I used to babysit Joan Jett. She goes, "I used to babysit when they were kids." I'm like, wait a minute. She was 20 years older than I thought. She was in her 60s. No, she was 20 years. She looks young. But yeah, he's told this story about he lived in Pittsburgh, and it was really cool.
Wow.
That's how I get to meet 1 or 2 degrees of separation.
Wow. That's
So
true.
it's I'm really overjoyed. Just
Well, and it seems like there's no end in sight, which is outstanding. So tell us about. Let's see. How does someone get a hold of you? So if they want to go to obviously your website, I can put the website back up here again.
you can go to my website,
Yep.
and then the other one is Gihan Guitars.
Yeah, that'll be let me see. Let me put that one up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the word Gihan, it's my mom's maiden name, but there's a subliminal. If you look at the letters, the Guihan, it's got a message, a God message. It means God, you and Him always knew. Like
Oh wow. That's
it's
awesome.
subliminal. So when I engrave that logo to somebody's art, the Lord's blessing goes to that house.
So it is your signature. It is your signature. That's great, Garie. We could talk to you all night, man. But I know that you're busy. That you're going to get your house painted tomorrow and all that. So we want to be respectful of your time. But we really want to thank you for being on the show. It was really, really informative. We love your art. You'll be hearing from me pretty soon.
Thank you so much, Bruce, and thank you, Ken, for texting me before.
Yeah.
I forgot.
No problem. Hey, you made it, and we're very glad to have you. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I think that as we both explore our creativity and our brotherhood in Christ, that we're soon to be good friends. I can't wait to come out and see your shop and how you work and do these things too. So, really appreciate you coming on and taking the time with us. Even though you said this is your first time doing it, you're a natural.
Out of the park. You knocked it out of the park.
Embarrass you both. So
you knocked it out of the park. No problem, man. So anyway,
you can text me when you're on your way here. Let me know.
I will.
Okay.
Yep.
Bruce, come out here. If you have time, come out here.
I will try to make it out there as soon as I can.
Come out in June, July, or August, or September.
I know. I've been to Phoenix before. I've been out there for spring training. That's hot enough in April, in February, March, and April. So
did you just go this year?
I wasn't here. I haven't been there in a long time, but I plan on getting back pretty soon. As soon as the prices come down again.
Okay. If you do, please stop by.
I definitely will. Thank you much, and thank you for being here, and thank you for you guys out there in viewerland for watching another episode of the Weather Report. We do this on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Rumble, and any place you can actually get a live stream. And we're also going to drop this on an audio podcast app, so you can get us on Captivate or any of your famous podcast apps. Please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Share it with 4 friends that you like. Share it with one that you don't like, because we're going to be growing every day. And I'm going to leave you guys like I leave you every time that we close this show. You guys have a great life and be good to yourselves. We'll see you later, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.